This super chat started up in here tonight. Coming live from the bathroom. How y'all doing tonight? What's up? What's up, Jane? Good to see you. What's up, Julian? And here. Do some little Q&A. Little of that. Talk a little bit about that Wonder World. Give everybody a chance to get up in here. Get a little bit closer. I gotta get a little closer. What's up, Sky? Hey. Man, Tom, I appreciate that about the video library, man. I encourage y'all to go check out the different playlists. It is in no particular order. Just whenever I think of different things as the days go by that make and help somebody, I try to put it in a video format where it's easy to understand, it's relative, and I'm just talking to y'all like we sitting across from the table with each other and we've been knowing each other 20 years. I can say what I want to say to you and you can say what you want to say to me and we still cool. But at the same time, I can't do nothing but tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of friend I want to be to the people that's partaking of these live, these videos and things like that. I want to actually be of a service and I want to show you how, not just tell you what happens or show you the outcome or take you with me and do this. I'm going to explain why. And that's my biggest thing. Thumbs up if you like to know why. Because why going to tell the story. Hey, Denitra, good to have you. Good to see you. Tanner, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Tom, yeah, man. Gino, in there. Montana. He said I got a tub and everything. I got crazy stuff going on. Nah. I mean, if you get a mega cab, you can have that ball in living room type setup with a mega cab and remove the passenger seat, man. You almost got a one bedroom in there. For real, it's a big cab. Michael, what's up, bro? Alright, Wonder World. We're gonna get this out of the way first and foremost. Rod! What's up, Rod? Rod said he been watching the video since 11 in the morning. I hope it been helpful, man. Like, hey, also excuse back in the channel time when I was a little bit in my feelings about stuff, but I was real passionate, which came out in some not so wholesome language. But once you get past that, you get the meat and potatoes of what's going on. You'll understand it. This dude right here know what's going on, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, Wonder Weather. Just like any winter, this winter hasn't been the craziest by far, but it has been active. Thumbs up if you've been running the Northwest, the Northeast, the Midwest. Shoot, man, the whole little Bible Belt down off in there, Kentucky, Virginia, Missouri, cross over Nebraska, Kansas, anywhere basically above I-40. I-40 and above, you probably encounter some of this winter weather that's been going down. And I've taken time in the last few videos, really, and y'all honestly, I know y'all understand that these places I go, I don't have to go to these places to just make no money. I just showed y'all, man, I can just do ice runs and just bounce around a couple states and Texas and back over to Florida and Georgia and come back home. And I can do what I want to do. I'll be straight. But I do this because, for one, kind of like Tony Montana when he was full of that thug. I do this for fun. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten to the point where I ran so many miles. I've been to these places so many times, you know what I'm saying, that I kind of do this shit for fun. I'd strike out and go to Seattle just for the heck of it, just because I know it's New Year's, no one's picking up and no one's receiving, no one's going to be out, so, I'll take a 2,000 mile run and put something with it on the way at the last possible second before people get off work that Thursday. Grab another load to put with it that Thursday that goes equally as far, and we'll sit up with 2 drops that Monday morning in Seattle, about 14 minutes apart. That's how that happened. The Cash App is JBUTLER357. JBUTLER357. $40 1-hour consultations. We get down. We get down to the get down. Ain't no pre-recorded, nothing. Ain't no one size fits all. Nothing. Ain't no, man, this is how you do this if it did. Nah, this is how you do this if it you. And then whatever consideration that you got, problems and stuff like that, situation you leased on, you doing stuff. I review different situations, run the numbers, and I just break it on down to you from the owner perspective, the driver, the owner operator perspective, everybody perspective, so you see where you stand. You can understand if you in that seat or not in that seat. And shout out Chicago K. Why I see you on there. That one of my, I'm gonna say this, like, that my best owner operator. That my guy right there. That man like my brother, y'all. For real. Chicago K, shout out, man, cause you really epitomize what it is to want it, come out, and get it. I'm talking about run it up, be real dedicated, you know what I'm saying, and willing to learn, and had no preconceived notion. You ain't gotta break no bad habit when you ain't got none. When you ain't got no preconceived notion of doing something a certain way for a certain amount of time that you already got bad habits to the point where you gotta break those and then learn this. No. He came in. Shoo. I'm glad y'all are back. Hey, Buffy. I shot that one of the best in the game right there. Shout out Buffy over there in Georgia doing her thing. Man, we need to see you right on back out here real soon, Buffy. I know you dealing with some stuff with that truck. Hope you got that situated. Healing Hearts. Healing Hearts said it worth it, trust that. But this winter weather has been crazy, y'all. Like, so far. Like, I showed y'all in a couple videos. One of them a few days ago, maybe a week or so ago, possibly 2 weeks ago now, entitled Ice Road, Hotshotting, and we were coming down. I want to say that was 84. May have been 81. Maybe 81, but I'm thinking that, yeah, 81. I think that's 81. Coming down through Virginia. Where y'all at, All Mile Mountain? You ain't on here yet. Veteran Road. It was 84 or 81 coming down Virginia. And then slide on through Nashville. You catch 40, you come across. But anyway, I did a video, y'all, coming back after I had just went to New Jersey. What you doing in New Jersey in December, man? Why is you up there? Show y'all you can do it. Like I told y'all a long time ago, scared somebody ain't gonna never really have nothing. And that's the nice way of saying it. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't about just running out doing regular stuff. We talked about that before. Buffoonery is not what we are. It's all about readiness and them 5 P, proper preparation, prevent poor performance. So that's what we talking about on that winter weather. Things you should have with you, never leave home without during the winter months of the year. As far as your equipment, your personal items, things like that. First and foremost, even before we talk about the truck, anything dealing with any mechanics, you need to have whatever medicine that you take. If you take any kind of medicine, I don't take any kind of medicine, but I do have pain medicine with me. I have first aid kit with me. I have things to patch yourself up, you cut yourself, lacerate yourself. You need to secure everything that it takes for you to maintain your way of living for at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Whether that be clothes, whether that be case of water. Case of water, stick it between, stick it behind the back of your seat, stick it in the bed of the truck. I don't care. Case of water, at the least. Potty meat, nabs and crackers, packs of Ritz, Stuff like that, things that can hold you in certain situations. Like I say, you might not live forever off it, but this stuff keep you all right. You'll be okay. If you got a case of water out there with you and your medicine out there with you, something to put on your stomach when you take your medicine and everything, and you got plenty of fuel in that truck, and that truck keep running, you can sit out there 3, 4, 5 days. It ain't gonna be comfortable, but you can make it. You'll be all right till they clear the roads, do whatever they do and clear you to go. So they're gonna be paramount. Make sure you have enough food, water, your medicine, your clothes. You need to have the clothes appropriate for the weather. What about diabetics? Can they drive? That is up to the physician that does your DOT physical. When they do the actual urine analysis at the end, contrary to what people think, that is not a drug test. That is a protein analysis test that looks at the proteins in your urine and determines if you are high risk or diabetic in certain cases. And in those instances, sometimes you may be denied a medical card. So like I say, even with that don't automatically disqualify you. I think there are levels to that, where it's a certain threshold. If it's over a certain threshold, basically unmanaged, because if it's saying that it's elevated, it's because you got it probably a lack of insulin in your system that's making it do that. So I think if you got it regulated and you go in there and you take that test and everything is up to par, I believe you may pass. Now, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but that's just what I think. I think if you keep everything under control, just like people with hypertension, if it's under control and it's not elevated when you go in there to take the test, i.e. you took your medicine, you take your medicine as you should, and you keep it at a level that's under this certain threshold, they'll pass you. It's a lot of people that have hypertension that run trucks, diabetics also. So I say it's just a case by case thing on that. But that's going to be first and foremost. Second, when it comes to this truck, before the one even start, you need to run over this truck. You need to do a really, really good winter check on this truck. Because things that apply in the summertime to your truck are totally different in the wintertime. Real talk. Now, like I said, you could lose a water pump in the summertime. Change the water pump at the parts store. Put the new water pump on. Refill the engine with water, which would dilute the antifreeze mix. Am I echoing to you? Hey y'all, am I echoing real bad? Let me know. Let me know, y'all. Am I echoing real bad? Tell Sal he hope I'm in here just for the sound. Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I ain't doing that. Okay. Alright, okay. But like I say, when you go out like this, I oftentimes show pictures in the community, and I'm gonna put up more of them, where there are signs out there, man. There are signs out there. Like, let's just say I was going to Seattle. Okay, if going to Seattle via Denver, because y'all know I like Denver. I had my wife with me, so we like Denver. So we passed through Denver, then you go up to Salt Lake, go up to Seattle. Because I had a drop that was going to Seattle, but I picked up another one that was going to Salt Lake City. So, I dropped off in Salt Lake City Thursday. Thursday. And I got on up there to Seattle and did my 34-hour reset and we're ready to drop off in Seattle for the 2700 Monday. Feel me? But if going up to Salt Lake City via Denver, more than likely you'll take 25 north all the way up from the bottom, Durango area, Pueblo, Pueblo, as you want to say, Colorado Spring, going up Denver, Aurora, and then you come on out the top, Fort Collins? Yeah, Fort Collins. Fort Collins. And you're going to get out of there. You're going to hit 87 for a hot second. Then you're going to get on 90. And if you know, like I know, from experience of going over there, I'm talking about a lot of times, y'all, all times of the year. That's why I don't mind doing it and putting it on video for y'all, and y'all come with me and everything, because I'm fully confident with the equipment that I got and the knowledge that I have of winter driving that I have that you gotta build up. You know what I'm saying? This is a thing where it's a learning curve that you have to evaluate the risk versus reward in the midst of the learning curve. And that was one of the biggest things that I developed through, you know what I'm saying, having on the operator. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things you got to really look at, because every one of your owner operators that may be in another different part of the country, they used to different driving dynamics. So my guy that comes out of Texas, he's not used to driving in what my guy that comes out of Illinois is used to driving in. And vice versa, even though the dry stuff and the rainy stuff is a cakewalk to a guy that's used to driving on ice and snow all the time. You feel me? Thumbs up if you feel that. So, vis-a-vis wherever you come from, that's what you were basically taught to drive in, more or less, if you're not hotshotting already, because the average person doesn't drive cross country. The average person flies across country. That doesn't truck. You feel me? So, like, basically where you come from is what you're basically, unless you're a driver like me, before the hotshot stuff, I worked on Mercedes, GM, Ford, all that good stuff, but I was a highway maniac, y'all. I had already been to Denver before I started hotshotting. I had already been to Seattle. I'm talking about on the road. I already had been to Seattle before I started hotshotting. I had already drove to Vegas before. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to see. That's why I said it was a kind of a thing where I really wasn't scared. It's just the load securement, the weather, the weight, the trailer, all that. That's extra. But in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't tripping about the highway. You know what I'm saying? Hour, bunch of time. New York, once. Once. And I ain't go down in there. Okay, Tenor. Tenor said, oh, we got a question and answer like we're supposed to. Tenor said he heard something about diesel turning into jail. Can I speak on that? Absolutely. This does occur. And contrary to what people say or may think, there is not a definite temperature at which this happens. This is a phenomenon that happens at various temperatures. They're very cold temperatures, but to say that the diesel won't gel at 34 degrees, because it says 34 degrees in your truck, and you sitting there with it off, that's a misconception. You can't say that, because you got so many other variables and factors that go into this fuel gelling. One of the biggest reasons that fuel gels is simply the simplest reason. It's because there's water in it. So the gelling is actually not so much a gelling, if you will. It's a semi-frozen state, which is a gel, but because the amount of water versus the amount of other content in there is in such a disproportionate amount, it never fully freezes. You get me? It doesn't fully freeze. So yes, it does gel. So back to what I was saying about the 34 degree thing. To say that this fuel won't gel because water only freezes at 32 degrees, y'all know that, water freezes at 32 degrees. At 34 degrees, it will not do that because the water inside physically won't freeze at 34 degrees. It's an understatement, it's a misconception. Absolutely. 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 Montana, that's a great point. I was getting to that. One hot second. And by, like I said, by it being 34 degrees, you may say no, it won't. But what you got to take in effect was, okay, I was parked in Wyoming. It was 30, like 35, 36 degrees outside. And you would think that fuel wouldn't gel like that. But how many of y'all know that in Wyoming, when you come across 90 and you go on up and hit Seattle area before you go to Oregon, you go through Wyoming, that wind blows anywhere from 45 to 70 miles an hour on a regular. How many of y'all know that? So now we got to take in effect and take into account the wind chill factor of this 34, 35, 36 degree air that your truck reading, because the weatherman said it there. You got to scroll on down and see what it feels like. Because at the bottom of your weather report, it says it's 34 degrees, but it feels like 14. Because of the wind chill factor. That diesel can't possibly gel. That's why in other videos I told you, like Montana mentioned, keep some fuel in that truck. Keep some fuel in that truck. The more fuel volume you have, and the fact that you do not cut this truck off. When it's that cold, I don't care if you running a generator, you trying to save this ozone layer, you trying to save possible ring wash, you trying to save possible extra idle time and wear and tear on your engine. Don't cut that truck off. Tell you, man, don't cut the truck off. Now, people say a lot of stuff. You carry your generator, you carry your AC and stuff. Do that in the summertime. But in the wintertime, pick you a high idle setting and let that truck do what it's supposed to do. Let it run. Let that truck run, man. Because one of the worst things you will find out about the wintertime and the extreme cold, that it does a number on batteries. Oh yeah, most definitely. Who's my guy right here? BTU Truck said Northern State treat their fuel anti-gel. If you're running south to the north, make sure to treat your fuel. Don't assume that it's treated as just a precaution. Absolutely, absolutely. Because I pumped some of that blue magic. Y'all already know what I said about that thing with that little bit of blue tint. That's that drop. I've been pumping drop down here. And I know for a fact it ain't, so I've been dropping a little bit of that diesel clean off up in that big dad, because I know what we got that straight drop and it down there and that. I pumped $2.09 at the pump yesterday. That ain't bad. That ain't bad, because I seen some atrocious stuff going up there to Seattle, all the way across there and all the way back until I made it really back in the heart of Texas. I saw some stuff that make you want to be like, they want that much for that? What they putting in that liquid gold now? Yeah. You gonna pay for all that old through the seasonal stuff they be putting in their diesel, all these additives and stuff. Like, you ain't gonna pay for it. You gonna pay for it. It's in there. It's all in there. But okay, just like you said, man, treat that fuel. Don't assume anything. We're not assuming anything about these trucks. And just like I said before, with your water, fuel and water separator, right around the halfway point of where you're gonna change it, get up on the truck, drain it into an empty bottle, cap that bottle, dispose of it the way you need to dispose of it. But you want to drain some of that water, drain a lot of that water, all of it off about halfway through the cycle of that filter change, just to get that filter a fresher start on separating the water out of it, because you do not want that to hit that high pressure pump or those injectors. You do not want that water to go in that injector. It's going to be a bad day. So, and at the same time, you don't want this water to have this reservoir hanging under the truck in open air, where this air is rushing across it at 50, 60 miles an hour, where it can freeze. So you want to drain that. You might want to do that once a week. If you're running in the cold a lot, you might want to drain that just to get a lot of that water off that separator every week. I mean, it's worth it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's most definitely a precaution. Now we're gonna do a little more Q&A, and then we're gonna swap off into this non-CDL length and weight. Okay. Does Healing Heart said, hell, does having an air dog or fast help this? Really, to be honest with you, the best help, and like I say, they probably do have a fast and an air dog with a fuel heater in it. They may. I'm not quite sure about that for some low temperature situations. But the best thing you can do is to keep it running. You know what I'm saying? Because basically, pressure and heat go hand in hand. So if you got pressure, a byproduct of pressure is heat. That's why boost and drive pressure on your turbocharger equal your exhaust gas temperatures going up, because pressure induces heat. So with that being said, if we running at idle about 5,000 pounds of rail pressure, all the fuel that gets cycled out of the pump through the rail and through that high pressure pump, bumped up to 5,000 psi, through the rail, hit the relief, go back to the return side of the pump. That fuel is warmer going back in that pump than the fuel that's in that tank. So as it keeps cycling, you let this truck warm, that temperature in that tank is actually going to normalize with the temperature kind of close. It might not be exact with the temperature at the rail. So you can fight off on a common rail. You can fight off fuel gelling just by letting the truck run. It just do what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Especially at a high idle. At a high idle, you'll probably be running at about 55, 54, 5,500 psi. You might not crack 6,000, but that'll be a state where you got the engine producing more heat, which is actually going to be conveyed to the rail. Even though the rail is kind of making its own heat, the engine going to be insulated to that also. Okay, and let's see what we got. Yeah, sometimes the best thing you can do, man, is just let that truck run, man. I crank it up on a Monday morning, cut it off on a Friday. And I'm just saying, hey, what's up, hey, my old son? Hitting you on the consultation soon. I told him, you know, your stuff. I really appreciate that, AJT, man. I'm glad you trust me enough to talk to your son about something that's so serious, man. That's why I be, you know, kind of like I am about this stuff. Because I really take this stuff serious, man. Because I know this will make or break you. And there's a lot of ways for it to break you. I'm talking the gang just on some stuff you bet not do. I know y'all like to hear me tell you that, but there's some stuff you bet not do now. And you know, hey, it's way more serious than people understand. Oh yeah, and then y'all, hey, if you're new to the live, like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Julia Hall, 849. You was early. 851, change 851, Tom. Yeah, y'all was in here. Man, I'm gonna go back through and through shout outs. We gonna go into this waiting this land and we gonna go and get up out of here. What's up, Julian, James, Tom, hey, Scotty, man, Michael, Justin, Montana, Gino, Tom, Tanner, Denitra, Julian, Michael, Reggie, Gino, Ryder, man, Healing Heart, Buffy, Montana again, Chicago Kane, that my guy, 1,000, okay, Anthony, what's up, Tommy Ross, Healing Heart, Fred, what's up, Fred, Tommy, BTU trucks. Hey, it was good to have y'all up in here too, man. All the contributions have most greatly been appreciated for the conversations that we have, man. I just really like interacting with you guys, because it's a lot of times where people don't make it accessible for you to really ask them stuff because they don't want to be put on the spot about stuff. because, you know, they don't want to get caught with their pants down. I don't care nothing about it. Y'all have me what y'all want to have me. Late for the class, but I'm here on. What's up, Q? Tim. Semi-truck mud flaps are good for getting unstuck in the winter, or you can use them to work on the truck. Good one, Tim. That's old school right there, Big Dad. Neil, what's up, Neil? So about boot pressure would be better towing with extra horsepower tune or tie stock tune for reliability. Okay, Neil, let's go over this question right quick. I'm trying to see exactly what you're asking. So about boost pressure, would it be better towing with extra horsepower tune or stock tune for reliability? It really depends on two major things. You knowing how they added the horsepower in the extra horsepower tune. You really need to know. Because it's two ways. Holla Cat, okay, that was up, Tim. Holla Cat gave me a shout out, that was up. You gotta really know how they added that horsepower. Just being a technician, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you know, yeah, towing is torque. So diesels are meant to make torque, but they rate the tunes by horsepower, and then they'll put beside it, and it makes this much torque also. Because horsepower is more marketable to the average gearhead than torque. Even people that do diesels, people that are not so new, not so familiar with diesel, would equate adding horsepower. When you talk about torque, somebody that really knows diesel know you talking big. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to a gas engine. You say, man, he added 100 horsepower to a gas motor. He may have only added 50 foot-pounds of torque, but he moved the RPM range up with camshafts and lifters and heavy-duty valve springs. So he got the motor to rev up, and we know that horsepower is only a mathematical torque calculation of torque and RPM times the amount of cylinder. So if you rev the motor higher, yeah, he made an extra 100 horsepower, but he only made an extra 100, maybe extra 50 foot-pounds torque, if that. It just, he swung the horsepower curve. Well, in the diesel, we swing it this way. We swing it back down. And we develop torque, hard hitting cylinder pressure down low. That's what diesel meant to do, make hard hitting cylinder pressure down low. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why I don't just lean toward the gas engine, because you got to rev that engine to a different RPM range to do what it's doing. So, what to be said about the horsepower, if you know how they added the horsepower, it can be safely towed with. Example, horsepower chip A or module A add 25 horsepower via fuel. Horsepower tune B adds 25 horsepower via timing. Fuel, 25 horsepower, maybe 50 to 60 foot-pounds of torque. Timing, a little bit of fuel, a little bit of more timing, 25 horses, maybe 80 foot-pounds of torque. But the problem is, when you advance the injector timing, you cause a premature pressure rise or spike in the cylinder at low RPM. And by doing that, it induces a phenomenon, even though you're not producing a phenomenon. It's very, very similar to lugging that engine. Even though you're not lugging the engine, your RPM could be up past 1300 RPM. You'd be at 1300 RPM. And the way that it's initiating the injector to fire before the piston reaches top dead center in order to give you this big torque rise is causing the piston to fight against itself. But momentum will carry the piston through the arc. But you just bang the top of that piston, while it's straight up and down perpendicular with the crankshaft. So you transferred all that motion down into the crankshaft, but the crankshaft was not at the angle to spin. It was at top dead center, so it put all that pressure down into that crankshaft and into that bearing. Kind of sort of similar to what the 19 and 20 Ram high output engines are doing right now while they eating rods and eating bearings, because they added the extra torque to the engine without adding fuel, because the fuel mileage on the truck did not go down. You got to understand this stuff. If you really understand these, you understand where they messed up, and you understand that it ain't just the CP4 pump. That's a big part of the problem. But the way the computer, that's why everybody truck going in, and before they even start putting the new pumps on the truck, they just give you a reflash, and all that is some predated flash tune that took time out the motor, and it took a little torque out that motor too. They ain't gonna tell you that, but at the same time, it is what it is. They try to make the motor last now, which they should have put that in there. Anybody that know this game know you don't sacrifice reliability for a little bit of extra power. That ain't the game we play. Cost operation law overhead dictate that you cannot play them type of games. I don't know why Dodge played them type of game with the general public, let alone the commercial truck drivers, the guys that do CDL Hotshot, guys like me that do non-CDL Hotshot. I got partners that I know in real life just went out and bought $2,500 Ram 2020. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I don't get it. I ain't finna try and say it, and I will. I wish you the best in the world, luck in the world. But if you do it, you rolling the dice and you throwing them out there, and every time you rolling them, just say they don't do what you want them to do all the time. Now, so a lot of time they'll do what you want them to do. You roll them out there, and you get good, and you throw them out there, and you make them almost do what you want them to do. But it's sometimes where they will really bite you. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't telling nobody how to spend their money. I'm telling you how I ain't gonna spend mine. For real, there's some stuff you bet not do when you talking about securing a business and making it business profitable. If you can't put yourself in the type of risk factor situation, you'll rather go do something tried and true. Trust me. There's some people that seen the hard way that they make them some really nice trucks until that motor blow up. Stay out there, see here and hard. I can't let you put yourself in there because I just, basically I feel like I'm wrong if I let you put yourself in the seat and I ain't say nothing. Now we got Justin Morris on here, just as Progressive or another company. I say approach you an independent insurance agent that can shop all of those on one call, on one quote, on one input in the system, because the more you shop insurance, the more chances, more times you run at that number and try and get a quote, it will escalate. And it will affect your credit. It will. Contrary to what some people think, your credit has a lot to do with your insurance. So, you know what I'm saying, it's just like going into a dealership and letting them run your credit. Every time they do that, it goes down. Your interest rate goes up. The terms change. So just know that. Same thing about insurance. As far as Progressive and another company, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, independent insurance agent that could shop quite a few companies, and he should be in the know of who is who, because sometimes you can't get around these people, because like I said, it really ain't about 4 or 5 people that really doing all that stuff, and then they got a bunch of little companies, like my stuff say, Blue Hill, that's cool. I have no problem being covered by a company that said Blue Hill, but when I pay my money, guess who get my money? Progressive get my money. I pay Progressive every 30 days for all this stuff that I got going on. And it say Blue Hill. When they get my certificate of insurance, and they got the certificate holder at the bottom, and at the top they got Blue Hill Insurance, and say you can call over there to Alabama and holler at Grady if you want to about it, and he'll send you whatever you want to send. But that ain't Blue Hill. That at the end of the day, that Progressive handling all that. Because when I make policy changes or drive anything I got going on different, I talk to Progressive. I don't talk to no Blue Hill. I don't even know who them people are. But I appreciate them for writing it. And, you know, I appreciate Progressive for underwriting it. Ain't nothing to do with that, you know. I called Progressive, got a high quote, went out and got an agent they called, got a much lower rate, victory lap transport. Absolutely, sir. That's like the difference between a carrier and a broker inquiring about a load. They are agents, but they are insurance brokers. That's what they do. They are brokering agents for insurance. They are the middleman. And they can make something, but they have leeway to play around with it a little bit, and they know some way to get in there sideways that you just don't know, and they can make some stuff more affordable, still get their money. Everybody kind of be happy. That's a good agent right there. So, you know, yeah, it's always imperative. Like I said, don't get online. Don't do this now. Don't get online and start inquiring about the insurance and you ain't started yet. If you ain't started yet, just get you a thought in your mind. Just depending on where you at. If I'm in Florida, I need to put up me $4,500. If I'm in Mississippi, I probably need to put me up by $3,500 worst case scenario. If I'm in Texas, I probably need to put up $3,500 worst case scenario. I'm up there in Pennsylvania, I need to put up by $4,000, $4,500 worst case scenario. And then it depends on what I'm trying to carry. If I'm pulling up cars and stuff, I might need to put up $5,000 depending on where I'm at in Florida and stuff. Have this in your mind. Don't call to ask them folk nothing though, because every time you do this and you're not an agent, you can be an agent. The more you do it, the more you're going to muddy the water, the less chance you'll ever have of getting that number to be way back there where it was. It's going to escalate. So yeah, like I said, those are moves that you make. They're going to have to be calculated. They're going to be have to time properly. And you just going to have your money together. Don't be worried about it, because if that's the main concern and worry, it's a problem. Baton Rouge, Tennessee, you need 10 bands. And get what? I most definitely believe you. We sat at the table and talked about that the other day. So yeah, I most definitely believe that. And you ain't the first person not even in that part of the country. I got a partner up there in Indiana. He got the same problem. And you know, it's a lot of factors go into it. You know what I'm saying? You had to evaluate your situation and really try and get down to the bottom of why. Because it's like some people right now are getting some of the lowest quotes I've ever heard in my life. And this is pre-COVID, during COVID, after COVID. I do a lot of consultation calls, y'all. And like I said, guide people in the direction that they need to go to keep their cost of operation down and get the right coverage, have everything lined up so if anything happens, they covered. But at the same time, you know, just really put them up on a lot of different game about the thing. How's the freight moving out there right now? Same old, brother. It's out here, it's moving, it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna stop, can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records, we get down, we get down. But like I said, it's same old, bro. Like I say, it's a rush. This time of the year, even though they say this the slow time of the year, not really. This time of year, there are a lot of people that know what they doing in other aspects of trucking. They 2,300 down, 1,200 a month in Texas. That was good. South Texas Hotshot, good number. That was very similar to my first year. Mine was a little bit cheaper. I think I was paying $1,050. Or nope. I ended up paying $1,140 about, I say 8 months into my 9 months into my first year, because I added an owner operator. And the owner operator, he had pretty good drive record, but it wasn't squeaky. So it changed the whole dynamic of the policy a little bit. It really did. So my stuff went up a little bit. Because I bit the bullet on some bud. I ain't want to just tear his mouth out, so I shared the cost. I do that now. With the guy, do you have an email where I can reach you? Eric Young, I do 1 hour consultations via phone call, via Cash App. My Cash App is $JBUTLER, and I really don't have the time to do the email thing. That really the whole kind of deal about it. I started to. I was like, man, I'm gonna make an email, probably name it something like hotshothaven.com@gmail. So I don't know, but I was like, I'm just give you a rundown. You tell me if you think I should do it or can do it. Y'all let me know. Okay, I'm just giving y'all what my weekend. This is my off time now. Let me run y'all across my weekend. J Butler 357. JBUTLER 357. Yup. Let me just run y'all through my weekend because this off time. I don't do no off time. I'm gonna get tired. Friday. Heck did I do Friday? Friday I delivered on the line in Baton Rouge. That was Friday. Okay. I dropped it off. I told y'all I wasn't gonna put nothing else on the trailer because I had a wheel seal that was leaking. Got back home, garbage disposal was leaking at the house. Went to Home Depot, grabbed some stuff, came back. Still really couldn't fix it because I needed a couple more parts. Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Saturday morning, I'm up. Home Depot, came back, 7:30, went to the trailer repair place, bought the seals and bearings. Probably by 8:30, 9:30, I was done with the seal and the hood bearing on the trailer, repacked it with grease and everything. Came back probably by 9:30. I left and drove to Greenwood, Mississippi, probably about 130 miles from my house to do a wire harness, rewiring, and a soft reprogramming on a 2005 Yukon Denali 6.0, throttle body update on it, and also same town went over there to pick up my grandmother's car. She got a mint condition 2004 Nissan Altima that probably ain't got 40,000 miles on it right now, y'all. And it needs a timing chain. It's slapping and it's gonna jump time and it's gonna destroy the motor. So I went and get grandma's car. I ain't finna let her go out like no clown. We can't let that happen. And I know how to work this, so I'm gonna tear that whole motor down because you gotta tear the whole bottom off, side and everything to do that timing chain on that Nissan. But anyway, I'm gonna get that done. So after I finished the Yukon, it's a 2-hour drive, so I pulled up probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I finished the Yukon probably like 2:15. I finished picking up grandma's car probably by 3:30. Then I had an 89 box Chevy, cleanest one you ever seen in your life, y'all. I promise you. God, European front clip, charcoal gray, LS, sunroof top, full headliner, everything like it's supposed to be. One touch open sunroof, Tierra grill, HID headlight, 2.5-inch quarter wall white wall factory stock with the Dakota digital dash in it. Bad box Chevy. Had to go do some work on that for my partner. So by that time it's like 4:30, almost 5 o'clock. I pulled up at his house with my grandma's car on the trailer. Meanwhile, I'm telling y'all, I went Saturday morning after fixing the trailer, pulled the trailer to the town 2 hours away to do that. Then I turned around after I got through that, drove back home. I couldn't even get finished with the box Chevy. I had to get up that morning, unhook the trailer, get the truck, 7 o'clock that morning, back down there on that box Chevy again. Swung by, seen Mama Duke, and got on back down here. After I get off the line, I got to fix that same garbage disposal I told y'all about Friday. I got everything I need, so I'm gonna get up in there and handle that. Bought a little wet dry vac and everything, so everything be 100 with that. I'm gonna play Mario the Plumber tonight. But at the same time, like I said, man, 8 days a week. 8 days a week, man. And you know what I'm saying? On the grind all the time, but at the same time, you gotta make sure, like I said, when you come out here, you understand that you ain't looking at the money. You gotta look at the work, y'all. I'm telling you this. I hear they need another load. Done. Done. It's to Washington D.C. due date. Man, tell with them. Tell with that bullshit. Oh, do I got a shop? No, no, not really, man. Even when I was doing the Mercedes repair, man, I was doing it out of the 2-car garage at the house. I had, thing going on up in there, and then I was mostly doing house calls. That's really where I made the majority of my money for real, because I would drive anywhere. Atlanta. I went and did a 2006, a 2006 CLS 550. Yeah, it was in one of the videos I put up. Way in Macon, Georgia, man. For real. Out of Mississippi working on the car in Macon, Georgia, because if you don't know nobody, you probably ain't going to have nothing in life, flair. You better know somebody, learn how to talk, figure it out. But I know folks everywhere, so that's how they go. Tim is so crazy. Tim said they don't need another load of done up to Washington D.C. by the 2021. Shoom. My boy said he got that 98 Aurora, 100,000 miles, need head gas mechanics in Cleveland, scared of that North Star, as they should be. As they should be. I used to love them. I used to work on them a lot, but they ain't. And then, like I said, certain years and model. That 98 ain't no bad year. That's a good year to come back with. But that engine was an engine that really was a race-bred engine, semi-detuned for the street. But it had a lot of characteristics that wasn't street friendly, even though they dumbed it down and they made it run well on the street. That engine really ain't street traffic friendly, if you know what I mean. That block. Yeah, I'm just leave this. I'm gonna say this and let it go about that North Star motor. I work on a lot of them. I'm talking a lot of them, y'all. The way they cast that aluminum block is very, very, very porous. Is one of the reasons you can hardly stop a North Star from leaking, because it actually weeps oil. And I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna let that alone. You got gaskets and all this stuff trying to hold oil back and keep everything dry, and the motor itself just oozes oil. So that. And they should be. They should be scared of that motor. It's a 98 motor in 2021. They ought to be scared of it, because most of them wasn't working on no vehicle when that motor came out. I wasn't really working on no North Star when that motor came out. But over the course of the mid-2000s on up, like 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, when everybody in the hood, everybody that, wanted a Seville or a DeVille, like I said, DHS, there was some bad cars, they was getting them around 2006. Concord, that 2000 Concord, that was a bad Cadillac right there. Folk were getting them cars, on the used car market. And they were coming back in the dealership because the car still was so new that the people on the street couldn't work on them. So I got to work on a lot of them. So did. What do you think about 04 F250? Bulletproof that 6.0 and come on out like a boss. Because if it's an automatic, you ain't gonna mess the transmission up, and if it's a stick shift, put you a nice clutch and a flywheel up in there, and bulletproof that thing and come on up out of there, Raymond. Oh, Romeo, my bad, Romeo. Yeah, come on up out of there with that thing, boy. Yeah, you just gotta put a little something in it, man. You really don't wanna apply pressure to that engine consistently, without doing some things to it. But that was some good trucks, and they lightweight. The gross vehicle weight rating on them trucks is perfect for non-CDL too. It's kind of like that '06 Ram. He said he had to change the front bags on the S550 for his sister. Husband, the dealership told him it'd be 6 hours, wanted $4,000. My boy was done in 3 hours, saved him and never went to school for it. Yeah, and that's on and off part right there. The only thing that can hang you up on the F550 doing those type of repair with the suspension is if the suspension was allowed to stay like that long enough and the car was reactivated enough times to where that the pressure switch doesn't let the compressor turn off while you're riding around with them bad things. Like people ride around, most people are parking, but some people are really riding around with the back of their car, the front of their car laying on the ground for 2 weeks and wonder why when they put the shocks on, it won't air up because the compressor burned up. The compressor been running for 2 weeks. I mean, it is what it is. And like I say, that's one of the things that can hang you up with that. And like I say, if it's learned, if it becomes learned and the level sensor in the car and the manifold isn't recalibrated and brought back to zero, sometimes you get an incident where the ride height won't be where it's supposed to be. You have to take it in and get that recalibrated. But that still don't stop you from changing the struts and the shocks. And like you said, man, basically 2-3 hours, boom, boom, boom. You know, hour and a half on my part, boom, 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 and save $2,000-3,000. That's anything. Yeah. Just bought Andrew Williams TV said he just bought an L350 2007.3. Those are some hard to kill engines. They are. If you can get that thing to be leak free, relocate that PCM off the top of that hot motor. They got relocation kit where you put it off to the side on the fender well. Come back and make sure you reseal that IPC. I mean, not IPC, I'm sorry. The IAC. Probably go with you some new O-rings on the high pressure oil pump. They got a swivel fitting on there that for some reason it's got a plastic 90 on it. That's right on the side of the high pressure pump in the valley of that motor. If you look down in the valley of that motor, if you're working on it, you get down in there where that high pressure pump gears into the front cover of that 7.3, you'll notice it's a 90-degree fitting that goes to that high pressure oil pump on there. It's plastic. It got an O-ring seal to it. They got an update to that you might want to look at because that high pressure seal right there that go to that plastic piece will stop that truck from cranking because it'll be losing. It won't lose all of it. It'll have the truck really slow to crank because it won't be getting the 500 PSI oil pressure on top of the injector to make it go pop. So, you know what I'm saying, it'll be slow to build it because you got a leak around that O-ring or either the vibration be the slightly fractured that plastic 90 right there. So if you ever in that motor for any reason, check that, replace that. That'll do it. Yeah, on that 7.3, that's a hard to kill motor though, man. It ain't the most powerful. It ain't the most fast and up the hill first. Nah, that's a truck that'll chug and chug and that'll chug, twist the frame just trying to do whatever you trying to get it to do, it'll do it. So like 5.9, y'all. German cars are better than American cars if you know how to work on them. Victor Lab Transport, I couldn't agree with you more. On the German side, you just gotta pay attention to the maintenance and be anal about it because little things become big things very quickly in the German car world because everything is meant to fit very precisely. Different temperatures change the clearance and they take that into account on certain, boy, I learned a lot of stuff dealing with Mercedes, man. Just like I said, they don't even put quarts or pints or milliliters or no fluids in the car no more. Like that transmission fluid. That's why they ain't got no dipstick in there. It does you no good to check it with a dipstick because the car gotta be 100% perfectly level. It has to be up to a certain temperature because the level of the fluid changes. The fluid actually grows with the temperature change. Like this, hey, it ain't just elementary, my dear Watson. You can overfill it if you want to. It'll be your last time. You'll rebuild in about a week. My cash app is $, JBUTLER 357. That's $J Butler 357. That's that cash out. We doing 4 hour, 1 hour consultation. We invite you, if you are new tonight, to hit the subscribe button. Don't feel shy. Press the like button. Ask a question, man. You know it ain't like Stump the Haven or nothing like that night, but still though, man, I'm asking questions, looking through here these comments and everything. Hey, what's up? What's up, Prius? Prius, man, I'm from Mississippi. Country boy from Mississippi, brother. Oh, country boy. Tennessee, that 6-7 power stroke. Love it. I have grown to love it. I hate it when it comes down to maintenance and if something goes on, but you really can't outpour that truck. But one of the things about it, we ain't in no race, so that's why I love that coming. Because even though it ain't no hot rod, you can make it one, but even though it ain't no hot rod, that truck will really back a load down a hill, man. For that it's outbreak, you can't nobody else touch it. I'm sorry, and I really feel like I got you, Andrew. I see you, man. I'm gonna hit you as soon as we get up off here. Let me see. May have to push it back a little bit. I think I got one more. I got one more I gotta do, and I still gotta do that. What's called? So I may have to call you in the morning, bro. Yeah, I saw that, Andrew. That's why I said I may have to call you in the morning, or it might be later on tonight, just depending on if you up. But I'm more definitely get up with you. Um, but like I was saying, a lot of consideration to be made, a lot of consideration to be taken into consideration when you talk about equipment, trucks, what does what and why and how, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely, man. I'm most definitely get up with you, man. You know, like I said, that's the whole thing about it, man. You'll come to see that it's time over everything, y'all. And like I said, it sometimes it's like ain't enough hours in the day. You know what? That means you need you to speed up. So it is what it is. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Link. I want to say that BMW Tech for 8 years, very precise engineering. Yeah, it's very precise. And on a side note, I don't like BMW. Nah. And then from the Mercedes Tech to the BMW, I don't like BMW. I don't like y'all over there because they do some retarded stuff that I could never get jiggy with on their motor. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Why y'all do that? I don't know why they do that. And they put these water pump behind the timing cover so they can go out and dump water off in them. I don't like all that retarded stuff, man. It just, for real, they ain't even have consideration to think about the technician. See, that's the thing about it. At least Mercedes has, okay, we doing this. It's above reproach. Yeah, Audi, they suck too. I'm just saying, I don't mean to say it like that from a technician point of view. Just the relatedness and I don't even know if that's a word. Just the fact that you do stuff that makes sense for the technician and you do stuff that makes sense for the longevity of that car. To have a water pump inside the motor, spinning on something inside the motor that's driven off your timing chain. So when the weep hole in your water pump goes to weeping, it's weeping in the water, which dilutes the oil and dilute the oil going through the engine and damages the engine profoundly. And you probably lose it. Why would you do that? Stick the water pump on the outside of the motorway and been, oh, my bad. Y'all got that 4-wheel drive quattro going on with most of y'all engine got to hang over y'all front axle. So y'all can't have that water pump sticking out the front of the motor like everybody else. Because y'all got a space limitation because y'all got this big old transmission and transaction right there sitting over the front axle. That's why your overhang on the front of the car relatively long, and put a radiator in a let's say a S7 or S5 or A5 something like that, you gotta take the whole front cap out that car. You gotta take the headlight, the bumper, and everything out that car to get that off. I don't like that. I like the fact that Mercedes said when you open the hood, they go up right here. Oh man, you ain't gotta push it up a little bit more. That hood do that right here, 90 degrees. And you pull the motor and transmission out without even taking the hood off. Run to it. Yeah, man. Yes. man, Dodge ran all day for me. It's a 2019 BMW X7, a monster on the road, a headache to work on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that one of them things about it, you know what I'm saying? All this extra engineering gonna come at a price. And it ain't always the product. Sometimes it's the time. Cause I know if you ever done work on these Cummins, they just say you did a little work on a Cummins before, one of the simplest, more easy motors it is to work on. You know what I'm saying? Say you want to put a high pressure pump on. High pressure pump ain't the most expensive thing in the world. But you need to have a couple of special tools to put that pump on. You need to have something that's gonna pop that gear off the front. You need to hold that gear in that washer and that nut. You need to get that up out of there without dropping it in the front of that motor while you doing it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the part. It getting to it. It making it happen. It ain't the part all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like this deal with Grandma Kai and the Nissan Auto, it finna be a 20-hour job, y'all. To put a timer chain on a 4-cylinder engine. Because in order to properly do this, you got to take the timer cover off, you got to take really the valve cover off, sync it up, then drop the exhaust on it, drop the oil pan, the lower oil pan, and the upper oil pan. You're going to have to reseal all that now. And that directly bolt to the transmission, the bottom half of the oil pan. So you got to reseal all that, make sure everything good with that, just to get to this little chain that has actually worn out in less than 40,000 miles. But since the car is an '03 and my grandma really don't drive it, y'all know it's out of warranty. So I got to fix it. But that's beside the point. Certain stuff, it ain't about the part. Yeah, man, right, man. I'm for real, man. Stuff like the timing services on vehicles like Audis. If you miss those and you buy a used Audi that has missed that time of service that was supposed to came up about 90,000 miles, when they go in there and put a new belt in there and you run about, you get the car at about 120,000 miles for a phenomenally good price, and you can't really understand why. It's because it missed all those services, and when the timing belt snaps, it's an interference engine, boom. You know what I'm saying? You just got a fantastic deal on some lawn furniture, because that's not going to run no more, and they still want what they want for a brand new engine. For that engine from Audi, you're going to have to do some salvage yard stuff. I really lean toward the Cover 35 only because I think I'm limited on my 20, 2500, 67 towing rate. Neil, are you doing CDL or non-CDL, Neil? That's a good little point of view right there. We gotta know what you're doing though, Neil. Are you doing CDL or non-CDL? About to get an '08 Ram 2500 man and run it. Oh yeah. I got an '06 and '08 is actually a better truck on the same body style. Victory Lap, run it. Get you a number 4 injector line. That's the 6.7, so it's kind of random on that truck. If it breaks a line, it's gonna be random. You said, but possibly upgrade to a CDL. It's some stuff you're gonna have to make a decision about, because, like I said, in order to pull yourself financially back up to zero after your investment, then turn around and take off time. You know what I'm saying? Take our time, you know what I'm saying, to do the CDL or to swap over and get a CDL. You're gonna have to take our time and do all that. You kind of need to get what you gonna need now, and don't buy what you wishing for later. And you'll have a lot better experience. I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of folks be like, man, if you know you're gonna go CDL, man, probably by next year sometime, you did it for a year, you gonna go on upgrade to CDL. You know what I'm saying? Just go on by the do it. But why buy the dually? Had to get a specially D-rated trailer that you probably, you know what I'm saying, you could do it, it's no problem. But limit yourself on trailer capacity as far as weight and all that for a whole year in the hopes that you even last that long and get CDL and then have enough money left over to upgrade your trailer again, and then you know you're gonna probably want air ride. It's a lot of stuff got to go into place and to happen on a year later thing to be spending on a truck right now. You feel me? Just on some sensibility, you know what I'm saying? I understand what you gonna do later, but you know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of ducks in the rope. I got CDL, but I'm looking at 06 2500 Silverado. If you're gonna use your CDL, I suggest getting a dually. If you're not gonna use the CDL, you just got one. You could do 20 under 26. Prince, he said, I'm in insulin dependent. Diabetic, 35 years now. Almost impossible to get my CDL. That's why I run CDL, non-CDL, with a 99 coming with 500 plus miles, and he can pull 26,000 all day. And yeah, that's a consideration too, man. And that's a consideration too. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, health requirements and different things, you know what I'm saying. Only thing I say is, you know, if they'll give you a medical card and you can control everything, who am I to tell you not to? Or who am I saying do it? You know what I'm saying? As long as you know you know what I'm saying? And then you can get a medical card. They can ask you for a medical card when they pull your old shit. You can show them a medical card. Ain't nothing they can say. 08 617. What should I be looking out for? Cooling. One of your biggest things gonna be cooling. 08, they had an issue. 07, 08, 09, 2010, I think they pretty much corrected. 2009, they started correcting, but 07, 08, they had an issue with cooling on the rear of the engine. If you go back and look at some old Dodge literature, back at the time, I wasn't working at Dodge at that time. I was working for Ford at that time. But if you go back and look at some older Dodge literature about that, especially some service bulletin, what happened is the way they routed the coolant to the heater core, it didn't, if I'm not mistaken, it didn't tee off the back of the engine like it does on the 6.7 now. I think they made a replacement manifold that tees in some kind of way back there, but that was a concern when that engine first was developed, because what ended up happening was number 6, rear main seal, number six cylinder would oftentimes run a lot hotter than the rest of the cylinders, and it would start to expand, gall the bore. Sometimes it would actually seize in the bore and break the head of the pistons off because it was getting so hot that the rings were actually button and it was snatching the top of the piston off. It was catastrophic. But that's the basic thing with that engine, man. Keeping that engine cool, keeping it cool. Trying to see what else was a deal. What was the deal with that thing? EGR. I ain't telling you what to do, but do it. That EGR, I ain't telling you what to do, but do it. Because we ain't with all that. Thanks for the consultation, man. It really helped me out. I'm all in. Got a few. I saw you, John. I saw you, Johnny. Johnny Hotshot. I saw you, man. Congratulations. You have been running some loads. I seen that. You been moving around. Congratulations, boy. Them consultations be doing some stuff, bro. Okay, change some perspectives, outlooks on stuff. But yeah, on that 6-7 though, just like I said, keep an eye on that. But that EGI, you know what I'm saying? That one of them things where I just feel like it counterproductive to spend my money on air filters and then let the computer open a valve on the engine and dump soot back in the intake track post the air filter I just bought. Wait, so you know what I'm saying? With that truck right there, I don't know. That EGI is up there. It's up there. That's all I say. It's on there. I don't like it because they're one of them things right there. They're gonna keep that truck from trying to get over 500,000 miles. See, it ain't got no emission. You don't use no DEF, but recirculating it. See, with that emissions on there all the way out, if you had filters and everything under there, you probably get you before everything get catastrophic crazy, probably about 400,000 miles. You're gonna replace some sensors, some knock sensors like crazy on the newer Model 6-7 before you get to 500,000. You're gonna buy about 2-3 knock sensors, a turbo, a few actuators, and some more stuff. About 3 water pump. Don't tell me how you. I'll tell you now. Overall, the 5.9, yeah. Overall, the 5.9 is more reliable than the 6.7, and it's just simply because, you know what I'm saying? It was like a more proven package at that time. Like right now, a 6.7 is just as reliable as anything. 6.7 and the 5.9, you can put them side by side. That truck gonna run as long as the other one, as long as it don't have those handicaps on there that keep it from making it as far as the old motors used to make it. If you get the handicaps off of there and all that stuff that's still stabbing the motor in the truck in its back while it's going down the highway, yeah, you can get 500,000-600,000 miles, 6.7. It ain't no problem. You may get $1 million if you put a bypass oil filter on there. While you doing all that other stuff, you might get $1 million. But you know what I'm saying? 5.9 versus 6.7 reliability. I say this: a 5.9 will take more stress than a 6.7, just because mechanically the stroke is shorter by way of a shorter rod, and the bore is less, thereby you get a lighter piston. So when you rev this stuff, RPMs increase, inertial forces increase, you have less reciprocated weight, you have less forces to be multiplied. So therefore that rod tends to break a lot less likely than a 6.7 rod. It just is what it is. Now you look at the block, you 52 versus 53 on a 5.9, that's a whole different debate. You judge the block based upon who cast it, whether it's a Mexican block or an American block, contrary to what people think. The Mexican block is the good block, right? It is what it is. I don't know what happened. Why? He said, I have the 6.7 I did do the CCV vents atmosphere kit that holds put oil and contamination right into the turbo. I was surprised how much junk was going right into the turbo. Absolutely. And John, I really don't like that crankcase vent going in the turbo like that, because one of the biggest problems that you could have is you could have a lot of serious oil deposits in your charge air cooler. And if you know fluid dynamics, and you talking about pressure pushing fluid around in places that have to turn corners, if y'all know anything about hydrodynamics, wherever that fluid turns a corner, it hits. It hit hard. It might blow the corner out of that intercooler. And then you got another very, very dangerous part that goes in here, that if you get enough oil into the turbo that goes into the intercooler, oil and diesel are very similar. That's why they call them an oil burner. that truck will actually continue to go and become what they call a runaway. And it will actually be consuming the oil that has been deposited in the charged air cooler over the course of thousands of miles. So you may have a whole gallon of oil in there, and it'll start to ingest that oil, and it will create a runaway. Being that, all this stuff on this engine predicated up on being load sensitive, if the oil is fueling the engine and the engine senses that there's more air required, more to meet the RPM that the engine is seeing now, it will start to fuel the motor. You're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have to either suffocate that motor or jam something in it. You're gonna have to do something, because just cutting the key off ain't gonna stop that truck. Point seen, money gone. I'm finna get off here. I got disposal to fix. I got some household stuff to do, y'all. It was love. We've been on here 80 minutes. We talked about a lot of stuff. We got on down with the get on down. But like I said, if you knew, yeah, goddamn me. Hey, Michael. Hey, what's up, Tim? Man, hey, like I said, you can't put yourself in that seat, goddamn. You don't do that now. Hey, for real, for real. But like I said, it been a Hotshot, hey, man, and love, man. We chilled out real well on a Sunday evening, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, I actually got a PayPal. And I don't even know what it is. I got a cash out, but I need to go look. Man, I ain't looked at it. I ain't took no money by PayPal in so long, man. It's just pathetic. A lot of stuff that be mainstream to some people, I don't even use. I use a lot of stuff that ain't mainstream. It's just I'm weird like that. I don't know. I got my reasons. But at the same time, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay up, be encouraged. Y'all know what I say about a hater and a mammy. And a mammy. Yeah, for real though. Hope it great, man. Roll around in the grave, and pissed, for real though. Because a hater will constantly look at you and be bewildered at how you get where you are by the amount of work you put in and can't understand. And be like, if he doing all that work, he ought to get somewhere on. Maybe he ain't no. Maybe he ain't, Maybe he ain't. Tell them to kill themselves. Keep that in mind. Hater got a job to do. Your job to give them some motivation. I'm motivated hater to do their best. I promise you, that's my motivation. Motivated hater to do it best. Cause I know I'm gonna get the work out. And then the work gonna tell on everybody. I'm just trying to make sure it's saying the right thing about me. Peace.